What is going on, YouTube? It's your boy Tyler_TCG back at it again with another week of locals. And without further ado, let's hop right into round one. On the right, we're going to see on the left, we're going to see Rashawn versus Riley on the right. Rashawn is playing Ishizu Tearlament, and Riley is playing Vaylantz. So we start off with a normal summon of Tearlament's Rhinoheart being met with Ash, Blossom, and Joyous Spring. So let's go into a little bit depth about these decks. So Riley is playing Vaylantz. It's a pendulum-based archetype that revolves around them triggering certain effects when they are moved to zones adjacent to where they are. I've tried to get Riley to come on the feature and explain what he was doing, like with his cards, just so I have a better understanding as the match went on. But I will definitely be pulling the cards up and have them ready to go. So don't you guys worry. We will have them, and we will know all the effects. We all know what Ishizu Tearlament does by now. If not, then you've been living under a rock. No offense. But yeah, so without further ado, let's see what's going on. We're just trying to figure out what Rashawn wants to do here. Not being able to send something off of that Tearlament's Rhinoheart was pretty bad unless you have some form of interruption, a way to continue comboing. But it looks like Rashawn doesn't really have a lot to do here. I'm trying to figure out what he can do. I think I see an Yuigoh in his hand, or no, that's a Madura. It looks like a Madura and a Keldo, and he does have Tearlament's Sully actually being able to negate something. Yep, there is the Keldo being discarded, summon the Madura, and now we're going to have both players mill 5 cards on top of the deck and possibly hit any fusion summon effect to make a Tearlament play. Which is kind of hard for Riley because when you're playing a pendulum-based deck, you definitely don't want your cards to go to the graveyard, which is definitely a minus. Because you just want to draw as many monsters as possible, just to make the best board as possible, just to be able to OTK your opponent. And we see Rashawn search out a card. I believe he searched Gravekeeper's Trap, one of the new cards out of Magnificent Mavens, actually, where all the Ishizu cards debut. And now we're going to proc the Kellback effect to force both players to mill 5 cards. All right, so we're going to see Super Poly Milled, Scream, Double Scream, Rhinoheart, as well as Ihavness. And Riley's going to hit 3 Vaylantz monsters. I don't know, I can't see their names at the top of my head. And then we're going to see a mill as well, 2 Infinite Impermanents. So definitely good mills for Rashawn. Now he can choose to activate the effect of the Tearlament's Rhinoheart to send a Tearlament from hand to graveyard to summon it back, and then we are also going to trigger the Tearlament's Ihavness here to proc a fusion summon effect. So Rashawn needs to have another copy of a Tearlament in his hand, and I do see him early, so he will be able to proc this, Tearlament card to proc this Rhinoheart. So we're going to go now summon, we're going to summon the Rhinoheart, now we're going to do Chainlink 2. That's definitely not how that works. We're supposed to resolve this chain fully first before, oh no, we were resolving the effect of Scream, very sorry about that. So we're going to add the Tearlament's Crime here after summoning the Rhinoheart, and then I'm imagining we're going to proc the Merly effect to fusion summon now. I mean, the Ihavness effect to fusion summon. Probably putting itself back, and the Rhinoheart that we normal summon to make the Kitkalos now, and then we are off to the races here, boys. Definitely a fun match, and funny enough, when you're playing Pendulum effect, when you're playing a Pendulum deck, not a lot of people know what your cards do, so you shouldn't really be in that much of a concern. So we're going to see the Kitkalos being procced here to search out a Tearlament card. You're probably going to either grab a Merly or maybe like, I don't know, a Sulliek. I do believe Rashawn does have a copy of Sulliek in his hand, or in sending Tearlament Sheeran from deck to grave. So now we're going to proc the Sheeran effect to fusion summon, and we're going to probably make Tearlament's Rukalos. This board probably ends on like Tearlament's Rukalos, and an Abyss Dweller, and then passing the turn. Surprisingly, it doesn't seem like the greatest board ever, but when you think about it in reality of where the format is at right now, a simple Abyss Dweller just shuts down an entire Tearlament turn. I know I played against Tearlament this week at locals. I made 1 Dweller, and it just completely stopped my opponent from playing the game. It's very incredible to see how like a very graveyard reliant deck can just lose to something like an Abyss Dweller or like a Necro Valley or anything just stop the graveyard, or especially like Dimension Shifter. Dimension Shifter in this format I think is an amazing card right now. So we're just gonna see Rashawn think about what he wants to do here. Definitely has to proc the effect of the Sheeran now to fusion summon, unless he doesn't want to, but I imagine you would definitely want to proc that effect. Yeah, it looks like Tearlament's Crime, and yeah, we're choosing to not activate the Sheeran effect to fusion summon. We're just going to proc the Merly effect here to mill, and then we're going to proc the Kitkalos to mill 8. So Herald of Orange Light, Super Poly, the Field Spell, Exchange of the Spirit, another Herald of the Orange Light, another Tearlament Scream, an Instant Fusion, and a Rhinoheart. So none of those mills were honestly very good for Rashawn. I don't know, I would have just definitely went for like the Sheeran effect to make the Rukalos and then pass. And then we're just going to read over Gravekeeper's Trap, which I don't know what that card does either. I have to pull that card up now to read that. I know it definitely helps oh my gosh, what is it? It helps the Ishizu cards a lot. So it says, oh, okay, so it pretty much just stops graveyard effects, which is very cool, very cool. It definitely can stop the deck. So we're gonna now go for, it looks like a Link summon for a possible Sprite Elf. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna choose the Link summon Sprite Elf now, and then we're just gonna set 2 and pass, it looks like, or we're just gonna activate Elf effect, target Merly, I would imagine, to summon it back, or possibly a Herald of the Orange Light. If we really want to summon back the Herald of the Orange Light, I don't think we really want to, though. Yeah, so, okay, so we are going to, proc the effect of Sprite Elf to summon Herald of the Orange Light. We're just going to set the Tier Element's Crime, as well as the Tier Element's Zodiac, I would imagine, and just pass the turn there. So now it is Riley's turn, so now it's time for Riley to show off what his Vaylantz deck can do. Or, no, we're not gonna end the turn here. We're probably going to link summon out into, like, an IP Masquerade, I would imagine, or maybe a Sprite Sprint, yep, and looks like we're going to do that. We're going to link summon into Sprite. No, we're not going to make Sprite Sprint, it looks like. We're just going to make IP Masquerade. Oh, yeah, we're just going to make IP Masquerade, and I think we're just going to pass the turn there. Very sorry about that, guys. I really did think Rashawn was just going to end his turn right there, with just making the Sprite Elf and then sending the cards and then passing. But it looks like now we are going to now pass the turn? Yeah. Looks like Rashawn's just going to read over Gravekeeper's Trap one more time. This card is a little bit confusing, but it definitely does help the deck a lot. And being able to not activate the effects of cards in the graveyard, that include, like, can activate the effects of cards in the graveyard or special monsters from the graveyard. So definitely a very good card going when you're playing against, like, say, the Mirror Match or any other graveyard land deck, like Sprite, possibly. It can negate the Elf from spending back or, like, the Totally Awesome effect. All right, so we're going to see Riley draw for turn now, and it's time to play some Pendulum, baby. Pendulum. It's honestly one of my favorite decks right now. The Draco Slayer deck is definitely something that I have been enjoying a lot. And you'll definitely see a more in-depth video this week about the Draco Slayer deck and what it can do and how well it plays. But for Riley's sake, I don't know what any of his cards do. So we're going to hopefully figure that out today. I definitely played against Riley's deck before, and I definitely tried my best to keep up with what his cards did, but there are just so many different effects because of the fact that they just rely on being moved from different zones and everything. I know a couple of the cards like place cards in the Pendulum Zone for him, which is honestly a really, really powerful effect. And this match was definitely fun to watch. I watched after my round one was over, and definitely there were some misplays, but we're gonna see Riley activate one of the Vaylantz field spells, and I believe this one says that it can activate a card. This one lets you place the Vaylantz field. When this card is activated, you place one Vaylantz field spell from your deck to your opponent's field spell zone. And then if there are two cards in the field spell zone, the turn player can target one monster in their own spell and trap zone and special summon that card. So this definitely helps Riley's deck a lot more than Rashawn's deck, because this will allow him to be able to pop something. And we're going to proc the effect of the Merly now, summoned off the Sprite Elf to mill 3 cards. I see we hit Kelbeck, Keldo, and a Rhino Heart. So we definitely can mill another 5 cards here for both players to see if we can proc a Tearlament effect, or we can send, it looks like he has a Havness in his hand, and we're just going to mill 5. We're going to heal Pellerino, Call by the Grave, Murdo, I definitely butchered that one, and a Havness. And we're just going to see Riley mill 4 Pendulum monsters and the spell, definitely something you don't want to see if you're playing Pendulum. Like I said, you want to see all the monsters in your hand. So now, and we have now we have a Keldo and Madura effects to be able to send something, and it looks like, for some reason, Riley drew a card. I don't really know why that was the case. Not very sure, guys. Unless something happened with the Gravekeeper's Trap. I don't know. But yeah, we are going to proc the Havness effect here to Fusion Summon. We're going to take the Kitkalos, the Kaleido Heart, the Rhino Heart, and the Havness. Or no, we're not going to take the Kitkalos here. It looks like we're going to try and send something else back. We're going to send back Sheeran. So 3 Tier Element main deck monsters, sending them back into the deck to probably make something like Tier Element's Kaleido Heart. And to spin back a spell. Yep, there it is, the Tier Element's Kaleido Heart hitting the field now. Shuffling back the field spell for Riley. And it looks like that was... so the field spell is now resolving its effect, I believe, to set a field spell or trap. Oh, I understand now. Because the field spell never resolved to send something to set a field spell to Rashawn's zone, the duels are just correcting that, which just changed the mill by 1 card. Technically, the deck should have been shuffled, but, you know, what are you going to do? It's a locals. Not really anybody's going to be so on your case about it. So... Looks like we're going to activate a Vaylantz monster now. I don't know what that one is. I believe that's one of the level 7s. That looks like Dominator Duke. Yes, that is Vaylantz Dominator Duke. And this one lets you, I believe, flip a coin or something to proc an effect. If you control a fire monster, you special this card to the zone it points to an adjacent column. This one lets you target set cards on the field. You can target one set card. The set card cannot be activated. This card in the monster zone is moved to another monster zone. You can target a monster your opponent's main monster zone and take control of it, which is a very, very good effect. Very, very powerful. And it looks like now Rashawn is going to think on the activation, possibly chain the IP Masquerade here to make something like an Appaloosa, Bow of the Goddess, or possibly like an Amber Unicorn. And it looks like we're now linking these 2 off. I think you probably want to go into the Nightmare Unicorn, discard a card, be able to shuffle the monster away. I don't believe Rashawn is playing. Oh, no, he's not playing it, actually. He's not playing Nightmare Unicorn. Instead, he's going for Sprite Sprine, which is going to allow Rashawn to now send a level 2 monster from deck to graveyard. That's going to probably send a Merly, and then it's going to proc the Merly effect to Fusion Summon now to make possibly Tier Element's Rukalos, and then to be able to have the Solemn Warning effect, and just trying to make it as impossible. Oh, no, we're going to opt to send Herald of the Arclight here? No, that's not Herald. No, Diviner of the Herald, sorry. That is Diviner of the Herald if we so choose. Or I think in this scenario, you definitely do want to send the Merly from deck to grave just to proc a fusion summon effect to make Rukalos, so that way like the Vaylantz monsters can like special summon themselves. Yep, here we go. We're gonna take the Merly and the Kikalos here to make the Rukalos. And since the Rukalos is now pointing to, since the Sprite Elf is now pointing to the Rukalos, it cannot be targeted by card effects, which is just something that is very, very powerful. Now, if I don't know, Riley's not in a great position now because he still has to play through the Sulliek as well as the Tearlament's Crime. So now the Vaylantz is now going to tap to summon itself, but that is going to be negated by the Rukalos now and is leaving it in the scale. Definitely not something you want to see if you're playing this deck. You want to definitely get as many all your monsters as possible just to be able to make it beyond the Pendulum and start just Pendulum summoning. Riley has, I believe, 3 cards left in his hand after this, or 4. I believe it's 4. So we're just going to see what he has to do. He has to make some kind of board. It looks like Riley has about 3 cards left in his hand. Not really looking that good since 2 of them are already out, and we didn't even flip either of our powerful trap cards like Sulliek or Crime here. And it looks like Riley's just thinking over the board state, and we're gonna. I believe he is scooping. Yeah, Riley has seen enough, and he has scooped it up, and we are going to now proceed into game number 2. So if I'm Riley in this situation, I definitely want to side, like, I genuinely don't know what's in his side deck. I really wish I knew, but I unfortunately do not. It looks like they're just talking about the match and everything. If you're Rashawn now, I definitely think you want to build, like, put in a lot of board breaker cards, like possible Dark Ruler no more, or like a Lava Golem if you play Lava Golem, because these Pendulum decks, if you don't know what they do and you don't have, like, any way to out these Pendulum cards, these Pendulum decks, they do build some insanely powerful boards. I know when I play the Draco Slayer deck, a lot of locals, not a lot of people know what my cards do, so they don't know where to negate, or they don't play enough hand traps to stop me. Unfortunately, when you're playing a Pendulum deck, it's just so incredible how, like, 1 and 2 hand traps can really just end your whole turn and end your combo. But I'm imagining Riley's tying into a lot of, like, a lot of Graveyard Hate, possible, like, Dimension Shifter, or I don't know. Possibly, I believe him play Shadow and Prison Mirror. We see him take the Gaga Cowboy out of his extra deck and put something else into his extra deck. I wonder what that could be. It looks like a Synchro Monster. I believe that is the Tilting Entertainment, a new card. I guess the players are just side decking. I guess Rashawn's just side decking openly, just to show his opponent what he's putting into his deck. You know, fair enough. Like I said, this is a local level tournament, so it's definitely something. It's more casual. Our players just like to have fun overall. It looks like he took out Hope Harbinger. Now we see Rashawn putting in 3 copies of Droll and Lockbird, and I believe it's 2 copies of Nibiru the Primal Being. Definitely, Droll and Lockbird is something that a Pendulum deck you definitely don't want to have to go against because you do so much searching every time. And we do see Rashawn on the copies of the Herald of the Purple Light, and I believe he's also on copies of Herald of Green Light. Those are the Heralds that just negate spell and trap card effects, which is just so incredibly powerful. But yeah, this looks like it's going to be a fun match overall. So you take out the Call by the Grave, and then here goes the Droll and Lockbird. Yeah, it is 3 copies of Droll and Lockbird and 2 copies of Nibiru the Primal Being, which I don't know how well the Nibiru is going to be in this matchup because I've seen Riley play this deck before, and he could definitely make a Baronne de Fleur way before his 5th summon. So this copy of Nibiru can either make or break the situation. I don't think it's going to be that impactful, but the Droll and Lockbird is definitely something that's going to be very impactful. Like I said. The biggest problem with the Pendulum deck is it searches a lot of cards, which could easily be shut down by a Droll and Lockbird, and you kind of just have to play with what little resources you have. But if you prioritize your searching the most important cards, you really shouldn't have an issue there. But I hope you guys are enjoying the video so far. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, little announcement: once we hit 500 subscribers, we are going to host a tournament, and the winner of the tournament will get a box of the most recent core TCG booster set bought by me. So definitely make sure to check that out. I posted in the community tab about it, which format you guys like to play. It looks like Edison format is going to be the winning format for this tournament. But without further ado, we are going to just finish up shuffling here, and we are going to hop right into game number 2 now. And we're going to opt to probably have Riley go first now and just try to build the best Vaylantz board possible. Definitely taking their sweet time when it comes to the shuffling aspect. But yeah, I really hope you guys are enjoying the format, or if not, please let me know in the comment section down below what you would like to change about the format. You want to see the Ishizu Tearlament deck just massacred because it's just been winning so many different events. I believe at the time of recording this audio, the YCS Dorkman, I believe that's how it's pronounced, I'm not sure, is over now, and we got to see which deck won that. And we did see Rashawn open up the Nibiru the Primal Being in his opening hand, so definitely not a good opportunity for Riley. But it looks like Riley didn't open too bad himself. I see about 3 monsters. We're going to see him activate the Vaylantz field spell again, and lets him search a field spell and place it on his opponent's board. He opened Droll and Lockbird and Nibiru the Primal Being, guys. That is a rough one at that, guys. That is very, very rough. You just hate to see it. So now, the moment Riley searches any card, possibly off his Beyond the Pendulum or anything like that, he will be hit with Droll Knockbird and not be able to search any more cards for the rest of this turn. So yeah, we see him activate one of the field spells now. I believe that is the Shinara Bansho. I'm trying my best not to butcher the names of these cards. I'm sorry in advance, Riley. When you watch this video back, I'm very sorry. And let's see what his next play is going to be. And it looks like a normal summon of Deep Sea Diva. That is a card I know what it does, allowing him to summon another Diva from the deck. And we're going to see a Tearlament's Hobness dropped in response. Rashawn opening very, very well. And we hit Merly. It's Merly and what else? He milled the Mudora, Merly. Now we're going to see Deep Sea Diva resolve its effect now, summoning another copy of Deep Sea Diva from the deck, and then we're going to proc the Tearlament's Merly Diffusion summon now, and now we're going to make a copy of Kikkolos, and then we're going to proc the Kikkolos effect to send another Tearlament from deck to graveyard, possibly a Rhino Heart, then because I do see a Rhino Heart and what is that last monster? It looks like it's just, I see, oh no, it's just 3 cards, possibly? No, there's definitely a Rhino Heart in his hand, something else. So it looks like we're going to opt to send the Sheeran from deck to grave. Oh, no, it is 3, because he did open the Merly, and yes. Very sorry about that, guys. So it looks like now we're going to send probably Hobness or Sheeran, one of the tier elements we just haven't used yet. Or we could send, yep, there's the Rhino Heart. We're going to send Rhino Heart now, opt to activate the Rhino Heart effect to summon itself by sending a tier element card from deck to grave, and then we're going to have the ability to activate the Rhino Heart effect. Now, oh, he opened 2 copies of Rhino Heart. That's what it is, guys. Very sorry about that. Now we're going to see Rhino Heart activate, being able to send a copy of a tier element monster. We're probably either going to send Hobness or Merly, one of the tier element monsters we haven't used yet, to make the Root Kalos, and just to completely just hopefully stop Riley's turn. We're going to send Sheeran now. We're going to proc Sheeran's effect to special summon a tier element, fusion summon a tier element monster by shuffling back the required materials. So it looks like we're just going to use all 3 again to make Kaleido Heart. Rashawn is really a big fan of Kaleido Heart, which I understand why. It's a very good card. Very, very good. To be able to just spin anything back from the deck. So now we're going to shuffle back the Kikkolos, and then we're going to shuffle back the Rhino Heart as well as the Sheeran. Definitely an interesting choice of play here. So now we're going to proc the Kaleido Heart effect to shuffle a monster back into the deck. The only question is which monster we want to shuffle back. We can shuffle either the Deep Sea Divas back, because we're definitely not making Halka Fibrax anymore, because that card is very much banned. We can definitely shuffle back the Field Spell. Looks like we're just going to opt to send back a copy of Diva. Yep, looks like we're going to send Diva back to the deck, or we're just going to keep thinking, nope, we're just definitely shuffling back one of the Deep Sea Diva. So now Riley needs any form of monster that can be special summoned from the hand or in the Pendulum Scale, possibly, to make it beyond the Pendulum, so we don't have to burn our Pendulum Summon on something that we don't want to. So let's see what we are going to do here. I don't know what it could possibly be. It looks like we have one of the Vaylantz monsters. I believe it just allows it to special summon itself from the scale. It's the purple-looking one. And then we're going to proc the field spell to move it back into the spell and trap card zone. Yes, that is Nazuki, the Vaylantz Ninja. And then that is Shinonome. Yeah, Shinonome. And the Shinonome allows it to special summon itself. And now the Ninja is going to trigger to move it to an adjacent zone. And then the Shinonome is going to proc its effect to search a Vaylantz card, I believe. I definitely should have looked at these cards a bit more before the play act. And then we're going to add, there it is, the copy of Droll Knocker being dropped down from Rashawn now. And then, yes, the Shinonome lets you add a Vaylantz monster, and I believe that added the Balance Buster or something, or the Dominator Duke, I believe that was the one that was added. These Vaylantz cards are very, very cool. They just allow themselves to special summon themselves from the Pendulum Scale, and then possibly just proc more powerful effects. And we see the new spell card being activated, the one out of Darkwing Blast. I just need a solo activation. And solo activation reads, if it places one Vaylantz monster from your deck in your Pendulum Zone. So that way this card is just so insane. Just build your Pendulum Scale already, so that way you don't have to commit another card from your hand. And I believe that is the Dominator Duke being activated in the Pendulum Scale. So we already have half the scale built. So we just have to get a high scale now, because Dominator Duke is a scale 1. And we're just going to see what Riley's next line of play is going to be. He has 1 card to work with in his hand. I don't really know what else you can do unfortunately, under Droll Knockbird, because like I said, guys, you won't be able to proc the Beyond the Pendulum effect to search anything, or we're just going to see, I guess we're just going to do proc Dominator Duke effect to summon itself, and then we're going to drop Nibiru, the Primal Being. Very, very unfortunate. Riley has hit 5 summons. So now here comes the part of the video where I have to talk about something. So Rashawn's biggest thing when he was talking about this match is that he cannot get over this big Nibiru, the Primal token, because this token is huge, because these Vaylantz monsters definitely aren't something small. Definitely not, because I believe this token had 4,500 defense points at when it was summoned. So now we don't really have a way to get this back unless we use and we can't even go into the Kaleido Heart, because now the Kaleido Heart is sitting in the spell and trap card zone. So this Kaleido Heart's really not doing much now, and we're going to see what Riley wants to opt to do here. I believe he's activating one of the effects of the field spell to special summon a monster. Unfortunately, like I said, guys, I don't really know how this Vaylantz deck works. If you guys definitely do want to check out the Vaylantz deck, definitely let me know down in the comment section down below, and I'd be more than happy to get you guys the deck profile for this very, very fun Pendulum budget deck. Definitely a very budget deck you can play. Very cheap. And I believe that Riley's just trying to figure out anything he can do with this Nibiru the Primal Being token. He has used his normal summon, and he's used almost every single card in his hand except one. If it is a Vaylantz monster that allows it to special summon itself from the scale, he will be able to make Beyond the Pendulum. It's just it won't be able to do anything, and for some reason the tripod was moved. I don't know what happened to the tripod. I possibly wanted somebody to move their foot. But now the game is going to be on angle, and I apologize for that greatly. Very, very sorry. And I think they're just going to keep talking. Definitely do have to speed up this audio for this match. I just don't know really what Riley's next game plan is going to be. And it looks like he's just going to pass his turn and allow Rashawn to draw for turn and just possibly draw some form of... he drew Tearlament early for turn. That's the problem now, unless he has to... Rashawn has to find a way to his field spell to allow him to pop the token, just be able to attack for game. We are now going to normal summon Rhino. The Rhino Heart has been summoned. Now we're going to proc the effect to send Tearlament Sheeran from deck to grave to now fusion summon a monster. And now we're probably going to make Tearlament's Kick Close here and just try and make a big enough monster to possibly like an Axis Code Talker. So we're going to fusion summon now for Tearlament's Kick Close, proc Kick Close effect to search a Tearlament card. And we're going to add Hobness for the next turn in case Riley does have some form of monster effect to use on Rashawn's turn to stop his effect. So now we are still seeing a big Nibiru token just stop Rashawn from forming lethal unless he can make Axis Code Talker. It looks like we're attempting to activate the effect of Kikkalos to tribute itself to special summon Merly and now mill 8. Let's see what cards we are going to mill here. I don't know what we're looking to mill here because we don't have access to Kaleido Heart anymore because it has been placed in the Pendulum Zone thanks to Riley's Vaylantz cards. Definitely something very funny and gimmicky. All right, so we're going to mill 8 now. We're going to see Kelbeck, Sulik, Merly, Medora, Terraforming, Herald of Orange Light, another Kelbeck, and as well as another copy of Droll and Lockbird. So definitely these mills weren't the greatest. I mean, we do get the proc of the Merly effect, Fusion Summon, as well as the Soliak effect to search a Tearlament monster. It's just, It's just trying to figure out what card we are looking, what kind of monster we need. And yes, looks like we're going to search off of the Soliak. Looks like a copy. Yep, that is a copy of Merly being added from deck to hand. I'm very sorry about the glare on this, guys. I'm definitely trying to fix the lighting situation when recording locals, so that way I have the best lighting for you guys. And now looks like we're going to proc the Merly effect here to Fusion Summon a monster. Looks like we're probably going to make Rukalos here. Yeah, Rukalos is going to have the ability for the Solemn Warning effect just to stop it. And he used the Merly that was on the field instead of the Merly that was sent to Graveyard. Very, very interesting. So there's the Rukalos. Now, we're probably now going to opt to... I mean, we already normal summoned, so I don't really know what we're trying to do here. So we are sitting pretty high, though, with the Nibiru the Primal Being and the Rukalos as well. Just monsters with high attack stat value, but unfortunately cannot beat over a 4,500 defense point token. I highly doubt Riley is thinking about switching that token to attack mode and possibly attacking into something. That's what took the most time in this match, guys. Just the ability to not out this Nibiru token is just so incredibly bad here. Looks like now they're just discussing about Rashawn's just thinking about what's the best line of play he can make here to go for lethal. Unfortunately, if he had the Kaleido Heart back in his extract, this game would be pretty much good as done. Being able to make the Kaleido Heart, spin back the token, and deal just an absurd amount of damage. Because that would be 3,000, 6,000, and any form else would be lethal. Because of that. And it looks like we're going to try and link off the Rhino Heart here. We're going to link off the Rhino Heart and the Nibiru the Primal Being. For IP Masquerena. Yep, it looks like there it is, IP Masquerena. Coming down here, and then we're going to use the effect of the field spell to have the turn player special summon something, and it looks like we are going to be able to respecial the Kaleido Heart from the deck, and we're attempting to shuffle back the field spell. That's an interesting choice. I definitely think we should have just... I definitely think we should shuffle back the Nibiru token, because if we didn't have the Nibiru token, we could have swung for a whole total of 6,800 damage, which means Riley would not be in range to act. I mean, he could technically attempt to activate the effect of Beyond the Pendulum, but it wouldn't be able. It would just kill Riley. I don't understand why we chose to not shuffle back the Nibiru token. Riley's got a full extract of monsters, but really nothing else going for him. He has one card in hand. He was able to get. Putting him off the field spell is probably a good idea because it's not able to allow him to special summon something from the Pendulum Scale. I definitely am very curious about this line of play. I definitely think if the token was removed from the board, this would have just been game on board. Well, it would have been game on board, but it would have been very, very close to game on board. Riley only having one card in hand, drawing to a second card, definitely is something that would have helped. this match has definitely gone for a long amount of time when it didn't need to, I feel. But what are you gonna do, guys? I'm not the players. I don't know their line of play and what they were thinking. It's definitely something you have to think about. You definitely have to think about a lot of your plays throughout a local tournament to optimize them fully. But I hope you guys, like I said, are enjoying the new way we do the locals videos with my commentary. I'm trying to get better every day about being a commentator and just finding new ways to entertain you guys. Because it looks like this match is going for a hot minute because Rashawn is just trying to think about the best possible play here. Definitely winding down the clock. This match was 39 minutes when finished recording, and I was very surprised about why it went so long. But now I am seeing why it went so long. But I hope you guys are enjoying your day. This is going to be Monday's video, so I hope you're all having a great Monday, and let me know what your Monday plans are down in the comment section down below. And it looks like Rashawn has passed turn now. Riley's up, and he drew, looks like a spell card. Probably, it could be another copy of the solo activation, I believe it's called. No, so yeah, solo activation. It could be another copy of solo activation to place a Vaylantz monster in the pendulum scale. Or it could be another field spell. I'm trying to think of what other spells Riley plays in this deck. I don't think it's a lot, to be honest. I think he's mainly just monster heavy because that's just what you want to do in a pendulum deck. You just want to have as many monsters as possible to pendulum summon and just proc all these powerful effects. Oh yeah, see, now here we are. I believe this is the part of the video where I came over and have looked at this and have said, curse you, Riley, for making me have to read all of these new cards. Yep. Oh, it is solo activation. So we are going to proc the solo activation now to special summon a Vaylantz monster from the pendulum scale. Place a pendulum monster in the pendulum scale. And it looks like Riley's just trying to figure out a way to go for game. Probably just go for game at this point. Which Vaylantz monster is that? That's the new game we're playing today, guys. Name that Vaylantz monster. It looks like the level 4 monster. Yes, that is Voltage Viscount. Luckily, these cards are all very cheap. So during your main phase, you can special this card to a main monster zone in the same column. So Riley will be able to get something out of this. Or nope, it's going to be met by the Rukalos, negating the activation of the summon. So unfortunately, that is not going to happen. And then the Rukalos is going to be able to revive itself, but he does have to send its Tearlament from field to grave. Or what's happening here now? We're going to use the Kaleido. Oh yeah, he's just talking about how he could use the Kaleido Heart now. And it looks like we are going to put another Vaylantz monster in the pendulum zone. It could be a copy of Dominator Duke or Mad Marquise. I believe that is Mad Marquise, yes. It is a level 6 Vaylantz monster. And let's look up what this one does. It looks like Riley's just explaining it. Oh, yes, this one lets you roll a 6-sided die. If you roll 2, 3, 4, or 5, you can special one monster card from your spell and trap card zone. And it looks like we're gonna that's going to be met with the Hobness here, milling nothing but a Tearlament's Crime and a Scream. And now we're going to reveal the top 6 cards of the deck. And what happens if you roll a 6? I don't really see anything. If you roll a 2, 3, 4, 5 special one monster? I think you just excavate. Oh, he excavates the cards until he hits one. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I didn't see what he added there because I was just reading over what the card did. So that's a very, very cool effect, being able to roll a 6-sided die and just, if you excavate that many number of cards, hitting 6 cards is really good. It's like activating Pot of Prosperity at home without, needing to minus yourself something, which is very, very good. And now we are just going to continue to proc the effects of the Tearlament monsters. I don't think Rashawn hit any Tearlament monsters. I think Riley just passed his turn now. Looks like, I don't really know what's happening right now. I'm trying to keep up to the best of my ability. Let's see here. Possibly just Rashawn thinking about making a Gloomy the Dark Charmer, in a way, to just climb into an Access Code Talker, just to provide the extra amount of damage needed to just close out this game. It looks like we're going to go for the IP Masquerena here, possibly during the end phase now, to make a Sprite Elf, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like we were proccing to make Sprite Elf now, and then we're going to probably use the Sprite Elf effect to summon back the Tearlament's Merly from the graveyard. Yep, we do have a Merly down in the graveyard, to just mill another 3 cards and possibly just proc another Fusion Summoning effect. Because I believe I don't think we've used any of the Tearlament's effect this turn. I honestly have no idea, guys. It's just been such a long turn. But and then we're going to proc mill 3. We're going to hit Merly and Hobness as well as Herald of the Green Light. That is the spell negator, but we are going to proc the Merly effect now to Fusion Summon. What are we going to make? I don't think we can make a Garura. Yeah, we're just going to go for the Kikkalos, and then we're going to activate Kikkalos effect to either dump or search something. Probably you want to search something here. I think you've pretty much gone through almost all the Tearlament effects, and you really don't have any other good fusion targets, maybe except like Garura. Oh, no, we're just going to proc to send the Sheer, and now we're going to activate Sheeran's effect to send something. We could be making a Predaplant Dragos Depelia. That could be a definite play from Rashawn going into this. Because Garua isn't really going to do anything in this situation. Yep, we were trying to make a Predaplant Dragos Depelia. This 4,500 defense point token, guys, is definitely showing how Rashawn could not close this game out. But unfortunately, Riley did put summon a monster, and Shinonome is going to be special summoned here. I don't exactly know when that was placed in the scale. It could have been the last card in Riley's hand. And we did see Riley attempt to activate the effect that was met by Dragos Tapelia, and now we're going to attempt to link summon probably into a Beyond the Pendulum. But unfortunately, we are heading into time limit, which is definitely not good for Riley because the 1,200 points will be subtracted now. Oh no, we are going for Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. This card is fantastic, but I believe you cannot use tokens for this card to summon. I could be wrong. But that is going to be... oh, yeah, no, you cannot use a token for that card summon, so Riley is going to have to go into something else from his extra deck. But like I said, guys, time was approaching in this match. They were able to finish this match with only 13 seconds left on the clock. Definitely not something you want to see. So, I don't know what Riley can really go into. He can go into a Nightmare Unicorn, I guess, but he has no cards in his hand to discard, so it's not really going to get its full value off of it. I don't know. This match does not seem to be going well for Riley at this point. It looks like this match is going to be won by Rashawn playing Tearlament. But never say never, guys. Never say never. It could end in a draw if Riley does find a way to clear the board and just be able to attack and just force game 3. But I don't know. Not looking great. Riley's just going to continue to think about what card he wants to make. You can definitely tell how much these players want, like how much each player wants to win this match. And because it is round 1, you definitely don't want to lose your round 1 in locals because it can leave a sour taste in your mouth. We've all been there, guys. We just haven't had the best time at locals lately, and we are going to proc a Link Summon now for one of the best Link monsters ever made for Pendulum, Beyond the Pendulum, being able to pay 1,200 life points to add any Pendulum monster from the deck to the hand, but then negate all the effects of all monsters on the field as well as your Pendulum zones until you provide a Pendulum Summon. So it looks like we're going to see Riley add... oh gosh, which one is that? What Vaylantz monster is that? It's like playing guess that it's like guessing who's that Pokemon, but for Pendulums. It looks like Scion, the Vaylantz Archer, and that is going to be normal summon now because we haven't surprisingly have not yet normal summoned a monster for the turn. And Riley's just thinking about any way of dealing any form of damage. This card says you can target one effect monster on the field, toss a coin. If the result is heads, negates effects. If the result is tails, have its attack. So Riley could possibly go for that effect now to... oh no, it looks like we're going to banish the solo activation to move it to move zones, which is definitely a fun thing. And now we're going to proc the effect now. If this card's monster zone is moved to another monster, and you can target one card on the field, toss a coin. If the result is heads, destroy it, or if the result is tails, return it to the hand. So either way, the Kaleido Heart will be outed here, either by being bounced or destroyed. And it looks like it was bounced back. I believe it was bounced back, yeah. Coin flipping. You never see a lot of effects proc the use of a coin. It's mainly just dice. So now Riley can make Access Code Talker here. And I do remember Riley forgot that Access Code Talker does not target because cards that point to Sprite Elf cannot be targeted by card effects. Unfortunately, Access Code does not target. It just pops, which is why Access Code is one of the best Link monsters ever made. So now I see Riley possibly going to make an Appaloosa Bow of the Goddess. And you can even see Rashawn trying to help him out here, just trying to figure out a way to just win this game as fast as possible and possibly force game 3 because there are only 3 minutes left in time, guys. So this is not looking very, very good. I see Riley looking at Nightmare Unicorn again. Yep, we are going to do that now. We're going to make Nightmare Unicorn, finally outing this 4,500 defense point token, and then we are possibly going to make an Access Code Talker now with the 2 monsters on the field. Yep, there it is. Gold Rare Access Code Talker. Did you know that card can be responded to, guys? Unlike Secret Rare Access Code Talker. And now we are going to make Access Code Talker, target the Nightmare Unicorn to gain 3,000 attack points. Unfortunately, Riley only gets 1 pop of this Access Code Talker, which isn't good for him because both the Link monsters in his graveyard are dark. Unfortunate for Riley. If he played any other Link 3 monster that was a different attribute, it definitely would have worked, but unfortunately not. I'm surprised that Riley isn't playing a copy like of Selene, the Magistress of Mastery, because her card as well is a spellcaster as well as a light monster to be able to banish for Access Code Talker. And yeah, this is where they were talking about how Riley can't really pop the 2 cards that it points to because he thought Access Code Talker targeted, but it does not target, guys. This is just showing that the most important thing of Yuigoh is reading the card, explains the card, which is very funny because Riley has all these Pendulum monsters that just have like paragraphs upon paragraphs upon paragraphs of card text, but you just don't read something like Access Code Talker that has half the text of what a Vaylantz monster has. Very, very funny. This is a very fun match, guys. This just shows the fun of 2 Yu-Gi-Oh players having a great time, enjoying the game. Because Riley's like a lot of our players at locals doesn't like to play the best meta deck because he isn't a fan of the format. But what is Riley's next play going to be? He could attack in with the Access Code Talker into the Sprite Elf, but it doesn't really do much good. Really don't know what Riley's thinking now. I think he's just thinking about admitting defeat. We're just going to go for the Access Code Talker effect. Yep, we're just going to attack with the Access Code Talker into the Sprite Elf for a big chunk. That is 53 minus 14. That is 3,900 points of damage total. If this was game 3, Riley would win because of time limit, but unfortunately it is not. It is game 2, and Rashawn is already up a game, and I think Riley's just about ready to scoop it up. Rashawn's going to draw for turn and draw into a... Ooh. Oh, he did draw... Oh, he drew into the field. Oh, that was the field spell. Unfortunate. Oh, no, we are going to pop... We are going to prop the Axis Kotalker to pop the Dragon's Pelia, and we are going to draw into the Tearlament field spell. So unfortunate. That was the best card Rashawn could have top decked here because he had no outs to this 5,300 attack point Axis Kotalker. And now we're just going to be able to pop the Axis Kotalker with ease, with the grace of ease. Because now we're going to normal summon Rhino Heart, proc the Rhino Heart effect to send a Tearlament from deck to graveyard, and now proc the effect of the Primitive Planet to pop the Axis Kotalker after the fusion summon effect of the Tearlament Merly Hyacin has resolved. Very, very unfortunate, guys. Yep, and now we're going to remake the Kaleido Heart now. Yep, there's Riley doing a little bit of pop-off because he just really had nothing else to work with, unfortunately. Yep, there's the Kaleido Heart to spin back the Axis Kotalker, and I believe that is going to be GG's, and that is just going to have Riley be in main defeat because there is just enough damage on board. 3,500 twice plus a 2,000 is 9,000 points of damage, so... Unfortunately, we are going... not unfortunately, we are going to see Rashawn win the match here. Very unfortunate news for Riley, but I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Definitely make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on the video, and let us know what locals decks you want to see. And without further ado, we'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day now.